Welcome back, everyone. This time it is just yours truly and Joey.
Howdy.
We are. We have just jumped into the game. I think the players. We were going to wait till 9 o'clock, but I think the players are ready now, so they've just gone ahead and started. So rather than talking about deck lists and stuff, we'll do a little bit of that during the game. Try and bring that up. For the moment, looks like we are doing mulligans. NZ mulliganing 2 from Dynasty side, Marduk doing 3 from Conflict side.
Yep. Uh, cool. So we got some. Oh, double Wetsugo, double Doom Ninja. Double Doom Ninja, not really what you want to see because of the limited keyword. Only time it ever comes up.
Yeah, it's the only
Uh,
time that matters.
although I suppose dispatch exists nowadays. What do we got on this? Kendra District early is good if you can defend it into turn 2. I think with these flops, you could probably get favor just by throwing out a couple characters.
Hmm.
Uh,
I don't like buying the Dreamer without any fate on it just because of Raitsugu. Because now you have to spend that same fate to put a cloud on Raitsugu.
yeah, you could make the argument that it's probably going to be attacking in the ring type that it is, so it's going to be at least on par with Retsugo strength wise. Um, and if they want to put a card on Retsugo and then fight, that's a thing that happened. Um, and for all we know, he's got a bonsai in hand or something. He's just going to bonsai straight up.
I always find it challenging to play this Inquisitive Ishka. A fellow Phoenix over here in Australia also plays Inquisitive Ishka, as does Chris. I guess there's two fellow Aussie Phoenixes that do this, but I'm never convinced that this is a good card to play because you've just spent 5 fate on that thing, and I really want to see, not 5 fate, but a decent amount of investment. Sorry, I want to see a decent amount of return on that investment.
Yeah, it is only effectively 2 fate worth of stats. You can get a 2/2 for 2 really easily. Granted, a lot of threes are 3/2s or 2/3s, so it's not that far off the three thing. Um, we have and we have the link to the Scorpion Mirror that's ongoing at the same time.
Uh,
I will let anyone that wants that match know about it.
all right, cool. All right, while you're doing that, it looks like we're all the way into the conflict plays. There he goes, plays the cloud onto Raitsugu. I feel like if you just put the one fate onto a character, you wouldn't really need to play that cloud. Although that cloud will pay off over the next 2 turns, so there's that. It's really kind of worth 3-ish fate. First conflict coming up, so Marduk is going to want to attack in. I feel like we're going to see a military, not water, void. Looks like military void. It's going to have a look at what's under that Kanjo district. Meditations on the Tao. The proper pronunciation, apparently. Meditations on the Tao.
Depends where you come from.
Does it?
I think Dao is Chinese, Tao is Japanese.
Okay.
But because Rokugan pulls from both mythologies, it's up in the air what it actually is.
So we'll just say meditations on the Tadao then, I suppose, for the moment. Maybe people on the stream can do a bit of research and let us know the proper pronunciation, because that's what's super important right now.
I normally go with Dao.
Yeah, I was told Dao, and now I just keep saying that. So whatever,
it's probably me
whatever
that told
it is,
you.
yeah, could have been. Whatever it is, today it's Dao. Okay, so meditation's got to pull a fate off Raitsugu. Raitsugu can't do anything with regard to the duel. It's a military conflict, so I doubt we're going to see anything dishonor-wise. So this might just have to devolve into the old Kung Fu Pump scenario. Madu popping on a fine katana. So now we've got 2 attachments on that character for the box. He's up by 3. Ends probably doesn't want to give up Kanjo district if he can avoid it.
Definitely not. he probably wants to try and get it turned on next turn too, which is looking a little bit more difficult right now.
Yeah.
Um, not impossible, obviously, but
Did we get the rest of those stream details out?
I put it up on the League Media on the global Discord.
Nice.
I forgot to mention. I couldn't remember uh, which countries were playing.
No worries. That is a crazy Facebook link. Why don't I get the proper link? There we go.
Anyway, we've got a Seal of the Dragon. Guessing probably Kung Fu shenanigans now.
So some hurricane punches.
Yeah.
If I'm Marduk, I'm probably gonna wanna get as much of a chance to break this Kanjo district as I can.
You could also be trying to get into a Void Fist here.
Yeah,
Like
Void
Void
Fist.
Fist here, like breaks Kanjo that you don't have to deal with that. And Kanjo, there we go.
You called it.
Kanjo is super oppressive against Dragon. And
Mm.
one of the things with Dragon, and one of the reasons why you don't often see, even before Elemental Cycle, you didn't often see a lot of Dragon in the top cuts, is because if Dragon gets behind, it stays behind.
Right.
It's can be very difficult to catch back up.
Yeah, if you can get Kanjo going, yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Enzi's investing quite a bit of fate here. What were the player bids? 5-5? 5-4. I feel like if Enz had a Strength in Darkness, he would have played it on that Inquisitive Ishikawa already. So I suspect that that's not a thing that can happen. So now I feel like he's kind of doing damage mitigation. If he plays the Embrace the Void, then one fate is going to go back into his pool, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe if he can get a few more things onto this Shrine Maiden, it doesn't break Kanjo.
Yeah, it needs one more at the moment, one more strength.
Actually,
it's not
possible. There's probably something that we should mention is that with Restoration of Balance being a thing, Enzi probably actually wants to play a bunch of cards and get value out of them before he has to go back into Walking the Way. No, not Walking the Way. Restoration of Balance.
Yeah. It's obviously, just looking for whatever we can find, Walking the Way, try and grab something. What do we got? Good options that can be used in a conflict.
I think you're down to 6. He's down to 6, and his opponent's on 4 cards. So I feel like he's gotten enough. I mean, yeah, he's gotten enough value out of Marduk attacking first. Would you have attacked first if you were Dragon in this situation?
I always attack first.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. I am not a particularly cautious player.
You're just like, let's go, everybody, that way.
Yeah, back in my Netrunner days, I had a tendency to be the player that would put their hand aside and say, let's do this, and just start attacking.
All right, well, Kanjo does in fact eventually break.
Yep.
I don't foresee we're going to see much covert out of the Phoenix player. If we have a quick
deck list, I don't see any covert at all.
No.
Which can be a big deal, particularly against Dragon, who they're not the best at covert, but their common splash ends up generally putting them pretty high on the coverts scale. In fact, 5 coverts just on the conflict characters here, and an extra 3 on Mitsu.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of covert, and no way to mitigate it.
Yeah, it could make things very problematic.
He doesn't even have the Finger of Jade
So he's attacking in
for
Ring
when
of...
it's really important.
Yeah. So he's attacking in Ring of Water so that perhaps he has a defender, or if... Well, with the Doom Shigenja defending the attack, another attacker if he wins this conflict. This is kind of cool. It's like Doom Shigenja versus Doom Shigenja in a sort of weird way. Although,
Yeah.
the Dreamer, I think, did fire. Yes, the Dreamer did +2 on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not attacking in
That's
on
interesting.
fire.
Also, I'm kind of interested that he used this shameful display. It's actually 0 strength.
Well, 0 strength, like modifying. Yeah, you're right. You're right. May as well, though. Like,
He might just think that there's not another attack coming.
no, there probably isn't.
How many conflict characters? 5 conflict characters. He's already played 1. It's probably a fair call.
Enzi still has to play around Restoration of Balance, which means, you know what? Playing around Restoration of Balance probably isn't such a big deal for Enzi because he's playing Watch Commanders, which kind of suggests that he's going to lower his bid next turn. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it does sound about right. But I actually think what's about to happen here is... I was actually thinking against the wave after the conflict, but yep, against the waves.
I love it. And then you play it again out of the bin to straighten. What's her name?
Yep. Straight in the Ethereal Dreamer, go back in on fire.
Yeah, you are.
Assuming he doesn't break here.
Well, actually, the water ring is going to straighten the Inquisitive Ishika. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going
Yeah.
to. I don't know if he's going to get to use the Ethereal.
No,
Dreamer.
it might straighten the Shield Maiden because it has stronger military. Or not. Never mind, you're right.
I think you have to keep scouting here as ends. I don't think that Marduk's going to play another conflict, do you?
Why is this... Oh, did we miss a Clarity of Purpose? There was a Clarity of Purpose.
Yes, there was a clarity.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so that's why they've got 2 standing here. This is probably just straight up fire. Get an Honored Ishikura on the board. Shameful Display's been used once again. If it hadn't been used before, it would actually be up for this next conflict.
So in terms of value out of this Inquisitive Ishka, he's got 2 fate worth of value because of those against the waves and clarity of purpose.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we're waiting for Marduk to do an attack, right?
Yep.
Yep.
He's played a Tattooed Wanderer. He's making a fire. He's making the fire so that it can't be sent back at him.
Well, you know, if he does fire, a display of power is only going to cost 1 face.
Yep. But I could also see a defense here from the Dreamer. Just, it's already very strength.
Yeah, that's true. And get that dishonor token off you as well, I suppose. Another shameful display and another 0 force swing. Can you even call it a swing if it's 0 force?
I feel like in this case it's more justified though because this is their last conflict.
Yeah.
As opposed to he could lose shameful display to this Inquisitive Ishika just because of the fact he can't swing the 2 strength. Although they could also let this go. It's a political conflict. You might have a fan in these 3 cards, but a fan on a Tattooed Wanderer that's about to leave play, I don't know if that's...
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Really value. What else has he got? Seal of the Dragon. You need 2 of them, unless... No, Stronghold's not up. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, this is interesting.
Defending with the Ishika.
So having defended, display of power is now off the table.
Yep.
I think he's looking to get long-term value here. So plus,
yeah, long-term value. Plus, he just used the shameful for maximum value there. That's
so that brings
now.
Yeah, it brings it up to 4.
Yep. And that will also get him his second ring. He can claim his third on his conflict, almost certainly with this Dreamer. Oh, not almost certainly. There is one fate in the pool, but the hand sizes are tiny at the moment.
I
Even
think
tinier now.
I think Enzi can play box to not bow the Ishika if he wanted to. I don't know if he really
Yep, that
wants
would
to.
work too.
Don't know if he wants to anymore.
I think he does. He's put a ton into this.
Both players are on 2 cards. You know, I could see Enzi actually bidding 5 next turn. Oh, he doesn't use. Oh my god, I feel like that's. I feel like that's a big deal. I
I
feel like he.
think he might be about to go resto hunting, and I think he just doesn't want to spend the fate. Or
Yeah,
remove it from
yeah.
his bin.
Okay.
Because if he hits Feast or Famine,
Yes,
there's a swing there.
this is true.
He could keep his honored Doom Shinja around for an extra turn.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. You're probably right. He is about to go hunting. So Earth sounds like the right ring here.
Yeah, looking at these lists, I could see air just as assuming you're going for the really long game, trying to make sure that they are you have the option to dishonor.
Mm-hmm.
But the the Earth ring makes more sense, particularly on when your hand size 2 to 2. And he didn't go hunting.
Hmm.
Balance is not restored.
Oh, mate. If yeah,
Looking at it here, these hand sizes are pretty well balanced. Um,
yeah, definitely very well balanced. Perfectly balanced game.
Thanos approved.
There are no starving people in this version of L5R. Wasn't it the Dragon Clan that had they were having
They're
problems?
having population issues.
Right.
They don't have any children, or they have very few children. I think is the current thing.
So Enzi's gone in on Ring of Earth. That's fine. Playing some
Yeah,
cards. What did? Oh, he just played Reprieve, right?
reprieve, so we can't lose it.
Yep.
Um,
Enzi's walking the way
Again,
from
is that the
his
third walking the way? Oh, from the discard. Okay,
from the
yeah,
discard. Yeah.
that makes sense.
I
I don't
don't.
know where that makes sense, but I I guess it makes sense.
I don't actually know what Enzi's line of play that he's looking for here is.
Yeah, none of his holdings really help. So I also I'm not seeing what it is.
It's a shame Kanjo
Um,
District's in the bin.
yeah.
And he
Uh,
there's two Kudakas in the bin as well, which means that Ring of Air, if he does want to put the pressure on the honor, he's not going to.
those glory counts 6 to 1.
We're going to leave the Ratsugu dupe. I think you just leave this as dragon. I think you could just look at
I
what
think
the
you
two
leave the
face
Retsugo
cards.
Drip because you
Yeah,
like putting a fate on this Retsugo here that's got so many attachments is definitely worth it.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's got a cloud
like
though, so he doesn't actually have his ability.
yeah, but that's a ton of strength, and um if you ever find a let go, all of a sudden Retsugo is online. Um, the other option is you could let it die, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay.
I think you just buy the Shigenji here if you're Marduk, and I think. I wonder what. I want. Oh, Marduk. No, Marduk recognizes that a watch commander could be coming in, and Marduk has 0 cards in his hand. What's going on?
Yeah, he lost the court games to the Earth Ring,
Right.
so he's gonna have to bid 5, and his opponent can bid 1 and still be on rough parity for cards.
I think this is actually really good for ends.
Yeah. If you can get a
Although,
Watch Commander down right now, it is going to get a lot of value.
yeah, that Mystic has got a couple of legitimate targets, right? It's got a Cloud and it's got a Watch Commander.
Yeah, I think it's probably for the Cloud.
Yeah.
As I was saying before, if you found a Let Go, probably doesn't hasn't found the Let Go. The still a decent way to get rid of it. Get rid of that, and this Satsugo is insane. What's he on, like 5 or 7? Is that 2 swords?
It's 2+2s.
Yeah.
We've got a fine katana, two fine katanas.
Yep.
So
So 7,
seven.
7V.
7-3. Yep. Notwithstanding
Like he's
box.
a yeah. That's once you box, it's 9-5. Um, the obviously not using policy debate, but because of restricted cards and Pathfinder's Blades exists.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Pathfinder's Blades.
the like he would be a dueling machine at that point.
As far as Pathfinder Blades go, I think they're really only going to be good for straightening D10 Masters. Enzi's deck is running Manicured Garden, Entrenched Position, Meditations on the Dow, Shameful Display, and Miyamoto's Fury. And I suspect that Entrenched Position might be on the box.
I would guess that too.
Marduk's deck. Marduk's deck is a reasonably standard lineup as well. I think Sacred Sanctuary, Entrenched Position, Feast or Famine, Resto, and Shameful. So
And transposition is weird. Normally that would be a rally to the cause.
yeah,
That is a difference. It's probably a reaction to Unicorn actually being playable. Because both Unicorn and Lion are going to break on military conflicts if they can help it,
mm-hmm.
and uh, they're the ones with the HMT boxes. Crab will break on military. Uh, Even Dragon normally breaks on military. There's a lot more military boosts that they can grab.
All right.
He found the Let Go for the Cloud the Mind. So this Mystic's not looking as good.
All right, so we see Enzi sacrifice a mere mystic to go after a reprieve on a guy with one fate on him.
He was just going to get dueled.
Yeah.
If he didn't do it, he was going to lose the character to the duel. So
Yep.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I think you're right. If we see a Watch Commander, though, Marduk's mere mystic is going to be pretty good value. Pretty good.
I think he might have. He probably should have considered maybe getting rid of the Seal of the Dragon.
Instead of the reprieve?
Yeah, because if he hits Sacred Sanctuary now, the Retsugo duel is still online.
Hmm. Well, Raitsugu's duel is now about to hit this Inquisitive Ishika. Albeit it's 5 strength, so it's not a guaranteed, I'm going to win this duel, but it's going to be 7 versus 5. And Enzi's deck does not appear to have Finger of Jade in it, so the only thing left is Cloud the Mind.
Another one. I feel like he would have played the Cloud the Mind when he let go of the Cloud the Mind if he had it. So I don't think. I think that's a pretty big tell that he doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. I think he would describe Marduk's deck as standard dragon. Although only 2 Void Fists rather than 3.
I could still see that. Like when it comes to what you run, particularly with this with a standard dragon, like we're saying here, you don't have as many monks, so the Void Fist can be hard to pull off, particularly with the requirement that you have 2 other cards. If it comes late, it can be a problem. Because you might not have the cards left to play. But
Braitsugu just carved up that Inquisitive Ishka.
yeah,
I think, what did NZ bid? 1? Yeah. So Marduk sacrificing a little bit of honor to try and get that duel off. I think that
To-
was... Yeah, I think that was
guarantee it.
NZ's... Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 5...
it was guaranteed. He could have got to
10.
he could have got to 10. But Retsugo might have bid to get to 11.
Is he 11? Oh, he's got
One
the
honor
box. Right, yep.
1 honor to guarantee it.
Yep.
That's well and truly worth it.
Agreed.
It's taking off one of the biggest threats, although the fact it was bowed already, I suppose there's a against the waves in the bin, so he could have just got it straight back up.
So Enz has got a political conflict left, which your owner can't participate in.
Yep.
Do you start with
He's
a
got 4
political
cards in hand.
conflict? Yeah. If you're Marduk, do you start with a political conflict? Marduk thinks so.
Yeah,
Going for air. Okay.
I feel like
Elemental
if
Fury.
you've got a free conflict, I think you do it. Elemental Fury
Yeah, he swaps
changes it to the firing.
it into fire. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Eric. I guess that Inquisitor Ishka wasn't really doing much to start with, huh?
The
Do you-
Inquisitive Ikasha could have been stood back up and used in the second conflict, and it was still, what, 4 strength?
Yeah, that's right, because there's against the waves in the bin, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 5 on
That's
military. 6 on military, actually.
6 on military. Okay,
Yeah.
yep.
Although...
that-
Go on.
That would have been, I think that would have been his line of play, had it still been around.
Yep.
And I think that's what Marduk's trying to shut down.
Yep.
Just take away his options. If he has no options, what's he gonna do? Apparently play a Shrine Maiden.
Oh, but the Shrine Maiden... Oh, she just loves to get rid of really important cards, like other Shrine Maidens and Watch Commanders. Oh, I feel your
Yep.
pain, Enzi.
There goes free influence.
Yeah.
And was that a known splash? No, I think the splash was unknown going into that.
What do you mean?
Oh no, wait, no
They
deck list. Never mind.
Yeah, they see the CG's deck list.
Yeah, that.
Do you think Enzi's made any mistakes here, or do you think that this is just the decks, the 2 decks operating at sort of peak efficiency?
I feel like there's always some mistake, particularly in retrospect, but can't off the top of my head pick what it was. Like maybe if he didn't go so heavy into this first conflict with the Kenjo district, considering he lost it anyway,
Mhm.
he might have been able to come back from losing the Kenjo district. Maybe maybe he didn't mulligan that. I don't know which.
Yeah, we don't know
provinces
if
he
he didn't mulligan Kanjo.
Yeah,
I always
might
feel
have.
very challenged to get rid of Kanjo districts, but I think you have to. I think you have to get rid of Kanjo districts early.
The fact that it's not online on turn 1, it means that 25% of your provinces are useless turn 1.
unless
I think
it's unless it's sitting on top of like a pilgrimage.
What do we got?
Okay.
Walking the way to trigger, to bow the Tomb Ninja. Quality plays. Not even in the conflict,
Yeah.
determining who wins it.
She's not doing much else though, is she?
No.
I guess she could defend the military conflict, the oncoming military conflict if there was one. But I'm not sure there's going to be one.
I think the fact that he just put the Tattooed Wanderer in here means that he's not going to.
Yep, agreed. So 1v1. Why are you putting the Tattooed Wanderer in? Just to prevent the honor
It was still
loss?
defended. It was still defended. Like the Doom Ninja was there.
Yeah, I
It
don't
just
know.
was bound.
I don't quite understand why. Alright, he passes his next conflict. Maybe he plays it. He plays it just to get it out of his hand, actually, because that was the Ring of Earth, right? So that's the reason
Yeah,
to do that.
but it should have been played at home at least. I think. Just to threaten attack back. Like he could have actually attacked back. Would have been 2-2.
2-1, right? Oh no, 2-2 because of the favor. Yeah.
Favor. Um, that that would have been an option. Maybe scared out this last province, which I think we could probably work out what it is. Manicured, right? We haven't seen manicured. Yeah. Probably not worth scouting out that last province then.
No, you should have a reasonable idea about what it is here. Okay, so we've
Yeah.
successfully brought the bids down to 1. This is definitely in Enzi's favor. So I think
Yeah.
Enzi's only down 1 break. It's not clear that he's
Does
out
it
of the game.
up 3 cards?
He
2 to
doesn't
3 cards, 2 to 5 cards is a big deal. Um,
he doesn't have a lot
the
of characters to bring into play though, does he?
not this turn.
Mm.
But if we look at it from here, I think the reason the bids drop so low right now
Hmm.
is because Marduk is probably, think very correctly identifying that the way he loses this game
Mm.
is if he gets honored out. If he'd bid 5 there against the 1, all of a sudden he'd be on 2 honor. That's a very real possibility.
Hmm.
Whereas bidding 1, it's still on 6. 6 is a lot. Um,
Yeah,
like
it's probably
maybe he could have gone a little bit higher. Like the fact that he had no 1 card in hand, he probably could have afforded it. But the fact that he's played Mitsu means that he can
he
have
can play stuff out of the
fake
discard.
cards.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably worth mentioning as well that Enzi's running 2 Spreading the Darkness. I don't think we've seen any yet, not yet. And
It's
those
got
I
the honor
think,
for it.
yeah, that's right. Those will be really important and really impactful when they come out into the table. So he's going after the Elemental Fury. Why not? Doesn't have an ability, right?
Yep, and it's got a palace on it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that. Like the biggest threat's already gone though. He's already killed the Kanjo district, and he knows there's no rebuilds.
Mm. So Mere Mystic just chump defending? I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
I think with this strength though, the 6 strength, even just a little 1 strength guy can really hamper your ability to break,
Mm.
because now all of a sudden instead of needing 6, you need 7. 7's kind of getting up there with how much with the like strength numbers, and like a bonsai all of a sudden just puts it out of reach.
And we're attacking on
Which isn't being run, so it would have to be a Spreading the Darkness instead, but the sentiment's the same. I suppose a Supernatural Storm into box Supernatural Storm could also be used.
Mm. Yeah, Storm would be 2, and 2's respectable, I think. Brings out another Tattooed Wanderer with a fate on it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Respect to the monks.
That's breaking again? Yep, just. It also kind of makes sense because next turn that other tattooed wanderer is going to be back in the is going to be in the bin, so he's going to have that as a target for Mitsu if he needs it.
Mate, Asawa Yuona, she's so good.
Yeah.
Plays another Walking the Way. Yeah, Walking the Way I don't think is a very good card, but it does have the benefit of just being an air card that you can play. Um, if
There
this
aren't
was
that
like
many air cards,
oh, there's a few,
so
but I mean, there's not very many that you can just play, for shits and giggles. So there's like Benson's Touch, but you need to bow a Phoenix Shugenja to get that one off, and it doesn't really
yeah,
apply in this situation. But Walking the Way, that could let you get like a Tadaka, it could kind of help you get to a Kanjo or something. It won't, but it could.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Did bow his box for that though, so
if y-
that's
that's true. I feel like this is a bit of a nothing turn for Ends. He's banked 8 fate this turn over his opponents. I think he's going to ditch almost everything out of his row here, except for that library. And did he just get that library? He must have.
he did off the
Yeah, he
walking
did.
away
Yeah. So I think he'll get rid of everything except the library to try and get
to really push hand advantage. That would
yeah
make sense.
and get like Tadaka or something like that onto the table. There's one Tadaka in the bin and
Yeah.
2 Kudakas.
He also knows his opponents on one sensor as their only favor punishment.
Hmm.
Like the they don't they only care that you don't have the favor. They
Hmm.
don't care. Like the dragon player doesn't care that that they have the favor with their list.
This I think Enzi's actually playing pretty well. Like he's just denied a Ring of Air. His opponent's on 6. We know
Yeah.
Enzi can start to choke. Well, there's only 2 cards in Marduk's hand, but if Marduk wants to stay in the game, he's going to need to have some options in hand. And we know that
Now the
Enz is
question
playing
is,
Watch
does he
Commander
attack?
to
Does
limit
he
that.
attack with Yunoa, who can't defend the next conflict, or does he just leave it standing?
Well, if she can't defend the next conflict, I think you just go for it, right?
You could leave it standing for the one glory, but I suppose you got the palace still, so
Well, he thinks
yep.
that
Okay, attacks.
he does have a keeper in. Oh, has he got keepers in the bin? No. Okay, so he's got one keeper showing in provinces. So if he can actually get this Ring of Water off,
He can bow at Sugo, put the keeper out. It's a pretty big deal.
yeah,
But
right, Sugu
there's a
though.
Wetsugo there.
Okay, so
It forces Wetsugo to defend. That's
has he used his
basically
ability
all
this
I can say.
turn? No.
I do not believe so.
Oh, right, Sugo. He's just so good. He's so
Yep.
good.
Rest in peace, Yunoa.
And the Inquisitive Ishika from like 2 turns ago. My God.
Yeah, but she's not named, so we don't really care.
Well, what ring did he take off the table? Water. Okay.
Water. It had to be water to force the
Yeah, to force that
it to
Sugu.
defend.
Yeah. So now Togashi Mitsu is going to be attacking back.
Yep, in political.
3 strength political could get rid of the shameful display.
Yep, but it's risky. 9 fate with 4 cards in hand. If there's any conflict characters, all of a sudden that's off.
Enzi's running 3 Shrine Maidens and 2 Seeker of Knowledge, and there are 3 Shrine Maidens in the bin. So possibly
Seeker of Knowledge.
Seeker of Knowledge.
It's not bad, and he can against the waves it if he has one.
Well, right. Marduk is thinking, to hell with that. I'm gonna go get this holding. If I was Enzi, I would probably just let this holding go, like let this conflict go, unless he's got like a display of power, which he does have 2 of.
I think there's telegraphs are court games.
Yeah. Ring of Earth, you say? Ring of Earth is a good ring in this situation. That library, though, is going to be super impactful for the rest of this game.
Yeah. Oh. No, okay, never mind.
It's just him hitting the refresh button. That's what happens when you do that.
Yeah.
Should I hit the refresh button? Here, I'll hit the refresh button. Let's see what happens.
But there we go. There's the Seeker of Knowledge, so good thing he didn't go for Shameful.
Have I just done fucked up? I think I have.
Yep.
Uh,
You're able to reconnect.
oh, yeah. There we go.
There's now a Seeker of Knowledge with a Watch Commander on it.
All right. That'll teach me for showing off. Secret knowledge for the Watch Commander. I like it. With 2 fate. Have we seen...
And a Clarity.
Marduk hasn't played his Assassinate yet. He does have one. Somewhere.
One Assassinate? Yeah, one Assassinate.
So why do you defend... Oh, I guess you don't defend. You just played it out of hands. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think he knew he was going to play the Clarity because he wanted the Karmic Twist to die. So he's like, might as well defend, stops you from breaking. I'll swing in for whatever province I want.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of 3-strength provinces here. You can always work out which one you want. Does not defend, passes, break Shameful. There. Bye-bye, Kitsuki Investigator.
Mm-hmm. Enzi's down to 3 fate, though. 4, 5, yeah. I guess that's fine. A 2-cost character with 2 fate on it is...
The bigger problem is the hand size. He's lost his whole hand.
Yeah. Again, though,
Although,
the library.
Yeah, the library will put him up to 2, but it'll be 2 to 4 next turn. And the boards are slightly favouring... Oh, I guess not with the fire down on Mitsu.
I think significantly favouring Marduk. Because Mitsu's basically card draw. Right? That Hawk Tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what can
But the fact that there's only, like stat-wise, there's only 3-1 on Dragon and then 1-3 on Phoenix side currently. It's obviously better to have it split across multiple most of the time. But... and there's a covert there, but...
Even if Marduk does get a hand advantage, that Watch Commander could prevent a lot of that. Alright,
Okay,
so let's
then
go.
manualing something. Something's happened. Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Look, I've played Jigoku on Australian internets. I know how hard it is to difficult. How hard it is difficult.
How difficult it is to hard. I get it.
How difficult it is just to select what you want to discard sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, Asawa Tadaka. Asawa Tadaka is going to turn off Mitsu, so that's an option. Mediator.
Doesn't it only turn off the events? He's still got the Tattooed Wanderer there.
I think you're correct.
Should play copies of events cards. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still got the Tattooed Wanderer as an option, even with Tadaka. But at least it turns off the Void Fist. Although playing Void Fist with cards in hand would be quite impressive.
Yes, I agree.
The Hawk Tattoo would still be on as well.
I think we should see a pass from Marduk. I don't think it's worth playing the Alchemist.
It could be, because he really wants to get this Mitsu not dishonored. But yeah, you're probably right. That's a lot of fate for right now. It can wait its turn.
Apparently not. Alright. So, I think we can expect 1 bids here. Enzi's going to pick up a card from the Forgotten Library. And hopefully that's enough to... That's enough for Marduk to... Oh, sorry, it's a hope... The Watch Commander Oh my god. Let's hope that the Watch Commander is enough to dissuade Marduk from playing too many of those cards. Is
I
it's not
think
it's not
the
even
one fate probably going to be the bigger deciding factor on how many cards are played here.
that's true.
Um,
Let's look at Enzi's curve. Enzi's curve is one fate stuff. There's more one fate stuff, whereas Marduk's got a lot more free cards by way of attachments and free keyhoes and things.
that's pretty standard, I feel, of a dragon deck. Most dragon decks have about um, just slightly over 50% on the zero costs, and then the rest are all one cost.
Mm,
Because after you've played that for a while, you realize that is quite fate. That is still quite fate heavy, even if it's just you know nickel and diming you.
mm.
But the it really does add up, and um, even just that little bit of fate you get from Seeker can really make the difference.
Do you think that? Do you think that Marduk just passes his conflict here?
Do I think Marduk passes conflict? Well, it does mean that the meddling mediator will be turned off.
Yeah, but it's good for ends, right? Like, it's really slowing down Marduk.
Yeah, he could also just say make one of his conflicts, make a void conflict coverting something, or use his last bait to Hawk Tattoo using Mitsu.
That's true. You attack with the Tattooed Wanderer, and then bring in what Tadaka, or bring in. Hey, what happens first? If you Hawk Tattoo in Seeker of Knowledge, does it then get to? No, it doesn't, because it's after the opponent plays the card. Okay,
Yeah, card's already played.
yeah. Well, Mitsu's got to be in the conflict for him to use a anything from the bin. He elects to
Yeah,
go for Void instead of Fire.
wonder what he's going to get rid of.
I
I
think.
feel like both the mediator and the seeker of knowledge are decent targets. I'd probably go for the seeker of knowledge myself.
Mm,
Um, but
yeah, I would go for the Seeker of Knowledge as well to get rid of the Watch Commander, because the Watch Commander is just it's disincentivizing, you know, playing cards like right
yeah,
now.
yep,
All right. So Marduk with 5 and ends with 7. So Enzi's winning. It's going to pass. If Marduk wants anything at all, he's going to have to either eject or play a card and risk Watch Commander. So he likes to use character abilities.
you could use the master alchemist. That'll get him to 7.
He's just used the Master Alchemist to take off Mitsu's Dishonor token.
Oh, yep.
So nothing material has changed in the conflict. So Enzi passes again. The ring goes to Enz.
But that political conflict looks pretty good right now when it coverts the only thing on the board. Although that will
Mitsu,
trigger.
yeah, Mitsu's going to get to use his abilities, but the meddling mediator is going to be able to do something.
Shocking, really. And I think this attack makes sense. You already know you're not gonna get a chance to use this. And yeah, restoration probably not the biggest deal right now with 2 cards in hand.
Do you think this feels a little bit? Well, I don't know if it feels a little bit desperate, but I think what he's trying to do here is dishonor Mitsu again. So I think you defend. I think you try and defend this one to try and win the ring.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, I still think it was just a value play. Like this character was just going to stand around and do nothing. It might as well be out there doing something.
He could have defended a
Uh,
political conflict, although I suppose if there is no political conflict.
Because Mitsu is covert, so it was going to be covert past the mediator.
Right. You make an excellent
Um,
point. You are wise. Wise to the ways of the dragon.
Shocking, really.
Yeah.
Played so
Who-
much Dragon.
Who knew? What's going through Marduk's mind?
He's trying to. I think he's trying to work out how he defends this, what he uses to win this, and yeah, he obviously agrees with you. This is a really important conflict to defend. It's obviously important enough that he's willing to give up this.
Yeah, because if
Give up his counter.
if Mitsu gets dishonored again, then you got to spend another turn with the alchemist, undishonoring him.
Or
So I
maybe
think-
not give up his counter attack. He's gone into a Wanderer with a Fate again. He's really cycling these Wanderers. Yep, so Wanderer with a Fate. That's going to be his counter attack. Claim a ring, I guess. Not really much else you can do with a Wanderer with one Fate with a political conflict. Pathfinders. That's a weird thing to see on defense in a political conflict.
I guess depending on what end signals, he can
It's
get.
got to be his box. Yep.
Okay. Defender 6. Yeah. Okay. Right, because Enzi stormed. Missed that.
But now he's a storm. He's like Bow Stronghold Storm away from winning.
Yeah, and I think you do that. There's only 2 storms in the bin.
Oh, against the waves.
Oh,
What?
I think we have to think a bit more like Enz, right? So Enzi's trying to dishonor his opponent.
Yeah.
All right, so his opponent is signaled that he's going to have another attack coming in on the Wanderer. And maybe all we really need to do here is to bleed cards, is to get cards out of our opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Marduk gets fire, which is good for Marduk, I think, because now Master Alchemist can actually honor Mitsu next turn, and Mitsu becomes, not that he's not already a powerhouse, but more of a powerhouse.
Yeah. Still got a couple more turns on those on that Mitsu too.
It also, if you do go for another attack, you do actually get to use the meddling mediator.
That's also getting Watch Commander into another conflict.
I don't think Marduk attacks. I think... Who's got the favor?
Is
Enza's
there
got
a
the favor.
Marduk doesn't? Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think Marduk doesn't attack, because if he does, he loses an honor from the mediator. And then if he wants any chance of winning, he's got to play cards, which is going to get watch commanded. So I think at this point, you just say, enough.
Yeah, I think without the mediator, you probably just make the attack for just to see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But or I suppose you weren't going to claim that no matter what. They're just going to defend it.
So Sour Ends has discarded the Solemn Scholar. What do you think he's digging for? He's probably not digging.
Characters.
Yeah, he's probably not digging for anything, actually. He's probably just looking for some more options. Oh, it was on a broken province anyway. Never mind. That's why he discarded it.
Yeah. I would have thought he might have considered discarding it anyway. I think he's just looking for like stat boosts. Not stat boost, but characters with stats. Which
That meddling mediator looks like a good buy, like a very good buy. Again,
mediator.
Again, it means your opponent's realistic with 3. He knows there's an assassinate in here. Oh God.
Yeah, we've got to be getting to it soon. Although the bids dropped pretty early.
The bids did drop.
Like there's still 20 cards left in both decks. Um, so that's going to keep
We really haven't seen many skirmishes actually from Marduk either.
I think this might be because of the whole 20 cards in each deck.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
now that the game has dropped down to one bid, I mean this is really where Enz is going to start to edge out his victory condition, right?
yeah.
Okay, 3 cards to 7 cards. Swordsmiths. Those swordsmiths, actually, they're going to completely nullify that library, aren't they?
Yeah.
What
Those
do you,
swordsmiths are going to get so much work done.
so we got a fine
Uh,
katana and a pathfinder's blade. Okay. Clouds Mitsu. That's fine. I think he's a pretty big beat stick right now anyway.
yeah, it's slightly bigger now that he can use his stronghold for 2.
Mm-hmm.
At least it gets rid of the covert.
There,
That
yes.
covert
Yep. Good point.
later in the turn.
Yeah, Marduk really still needs to actually. He needs to get a move on, right? He needs to start breaking provinces, and he needs to start advancing towards his victory condition. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's just going to run out of resources. I could see this game going for another couple of turns. One thing
Yeah.
that's probably interesting to note is that Enz's chess clock is down to 12 minutes 51 seconds.
Yeah. He's been the one on the back foot for the most part, so makes sense that he's run it up a bit higher. But neither of these chess clocks look particularly great. But I think the dragon player on this turn, they've probably got a pretty good spot to put some pressure on and maybe get a break or 2. They've got a lot of characters on the board. And they've got like a couple of like bigger characters, Mitsu and the alchemist specifically, along with 4 little characters as opposed to the opponent's board's only 1 big character and 3 little ones. Although 0-3 is kind of a weird thing to be calling little.
Yeah. All right. So, Marduk's coming in with 9, Enzi's defending with 7. So in this
It's actually
case,
11. That's going to be 11 easily, just from the
shameful.
from the initiate attacking. You probably honor that character,
Oh, right.
especially with 1 fate.
Yep, sure.
And then I suppose Master Alchemist for the other 3 on Mitsu. Although, why attack was shameful with all these characters that have high glory?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a plan to it. He's attacking on Earth.
Because he
Military.
had a Pathfinder's Blade. That's why.
Right.
I think that goes back to something we mentioned. You mentioned earlier. The Pathfinder's Blade doesn't have a lot of things to trigger on. So might as well trigger on the Shameful Display.
It's not a bad one though, is it? You know,
Yeah.
Shameful Display is a good thing to cancel.
I feel like Shameful Display is one of the reasons why almost all dragons will splash crab. You just lose way too much most of the time. Against the waves on the swordsmith that's not in the conflict.
Well, Marduk's next conflict is political, so he
It's
probably
because
is
it's Earth.
probably just removing some of that.
Yeah, it's just removing the card. He doesn't want to lose it to the Earth ring.
Enzi's got no cards in hand anymore, so the Ring of Earth's only 50% effective.
But these hand sizes are going to be 8-0.
Yeah, and once you're not in, like, when you're not in a conflict with the Watch Commander anymore, you'll start playing, like, Marduk will start playing them.
Yeah. He's not got the break currently.
Do you think?
So
Do you attack if you're ends? Do you attack political water or political air to try and really drive home this honor?
do I attack political water? I'm not really certain at this point. This is a kind of a convoluted game state with these double here,
I think.
um, double like the 6 strength of political here is kind of a big deal. Although I really think getting the 3rd break this turn could be a very big deal.
Yeah, certainly for Marduk. I think this is good, right?
Although,
Because Ends is going to use water to straighten that Seeker of Knowledge again, so that if Marduk does decide to attack in, he's going to have to face down the Watch Commander, and he's going to get double mediated. So I think Marduk still needs to wait till next turn to take his 3rd province, because otherwise he's down to 1.
yep, I think that's right. Not sure about letting this go here without any defense. That 1 honor could be kind of value when you're sitting on 4. Like he's not playing assassinate, but he can't assassinate.
Can't assassinate now. Well, no, Marduk's playing assassinate. He's got 1, right?
Oh, right, yeah, he is. So he can't assassinate now, and he can still if he wants to lose the game.
Yep. That would definitely change the game state, right? You losing? That's a change in game state.
Well, there's valid targets as well, right?
Mm.
He's got valid targets that he could hit with it. He needs to have the 3 honor to lose to pay the cost. So as long as he can pay for it, he can opt to lose the game if he wants.
So what's Marduk's last province? We kind of decided that Entrenched was on the box, so that province is Sacred Sanctuary, the one that Togashi Mitsu's on, which would be bad, I think.
Although if it is entrenched, that would be somewhat amazing. Like if that's the entrenched position, and then get to the box, and then it just Mitsu stands again.
Okay, this could be game right here. So he defends. If Marduk plays any card at all, he just, unless it's a Cloud the Mind, he just loses. I wonder if he's forgotten about these meddling mediators. I don't like this attack at all.
Yeah.
Marduk passes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's smart. Okay.
Yeah, probably not making an attack was probably the better play there, just so that you're not sitting on 1 honor.
Wait a second. Is this is political? Does Ends doesn't have any cards in his hand? I was wondering if he might have a court games. Okay. Enzie's going to be first next turn, which means
you could go for an air conflict straight up. He's
got to win it. He's not going to win.
He'll have to Darker, Mediator, and Keeper Initiate.
Oh, genius. Okay, so clarity of purpose played on that Seeker of Knowledge. I love this. This is so good.
Yep.
All right, Enzi wins.
Going to go back in.
Well, he's not
going to go back in for anything for a Ring of Air. Yep.
I think he goes for fire, right? You go for fire. You put a dishonor token.
To get the fate.
You get a dishonor token. You put a dishonor token on someone.
Just steal the honor. You've got the Seeker of Knowledge.
Oh yeah. Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? Madu concedes. Enzi wins the game. That is brilliant. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really great ending.
Yeah. I feel like Enzi realized this well and truly, like ages ago. that this was his out. He was going to have to win on Dishonor. I think Marduk like turned to a very. He realized that was the way he lost as well.
Yep.
But um, it just wasn't getting the breaks he needed to stop it
Yep.
in time.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Marduk's one big mistake right here was that second attack, letting these mediators fire. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was a big change in tempo. He lost
Mm.
a lot of his honor.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this cast. It's been a lot of fun the first 2 weeks of the World Cup. So still plenty more games for us to cast and for players to play. Please do check out some of the other coverage that's been going on. It seems like everybody's getting their games in late at the end of the week. So you can find all of the VODs that have been collected on Mize Desire's YouTube channel. Just go and look up Mize Desire on YouTube and he'll have a video playlist there. And I guess we'll see you next time. Thanks very much, Joey, for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Till next time.